Hi, you are tuned in to the Power and Energy News channel, ESI Africa. Today I am joined by Riccardo Pucci, Project Coordinator for the TID Rollover at the STS Association. Welcome, Riccardo.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about STS. What are the unique benefits that STS's products provide for the African energy sector?
Fantastic question, a very involved answer. So let me just answer that right off the bat. Benefits, you're talking about interoperability and security, but to fully explain what I mean by that, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a history lesson as to how we started and how we got to this point. So in the early 90s, ESCOM, our ESCOM here in South Africa, launched a campaign called Electricity for All, and the goal was pretty simple: to provide electricity to about 10 million homes that currently didn't have. Now, the issue arose about how do you collect the revenue for these 10 million homes, especially the ones that were sort of in outlying areas. The system that was chosen was the prepayment system. So of course the mandate was put forward, tenders were put forward, and manufacturers started to make meters. But the problem, another problem arose because all of these meters, vending systems, etc., were all proprietary, and they would only talk to their own types of systems. Now, at the municipality level, this caused quite a few problems. The solution was pretty simple. An association needed to be formed that would essentially create a standard unified language that would allow all of these systems to talk to each other. This is where the interoperability comes in. It was a fantastic system. It was very successful, so successful in fact that the next logical step was for this to essentially become international. And that's where we stand right now. The IEC specification, the 62055-41 that we utilize for everything, is currently now an IEC specification. It's being housed by Switzerland, and we are the custodians of the specification. So to summarize all of that, interoperability and security, and that's how we actually got to this point.
And something interesting that I'm hearing is that STS Association itself is a product of technological advancement. So why do you think it is that technological advancement and digitalization are important for the energy sector?
Oh, look, I mean, there's multifaceted answers to that one. Let's just first talk about how we fit into the market itself. So the specifications that we design and implement and put forward allow manufacturers to manufacture their products according to our specifications so that they can all talk to each other. Now, to move forwards from that, the technology in the industry is always advancing. Everyone's trying to be more innovative than the next person. So products are always becoming smarter, faster, more responsive. And of course, we facilitate that movement by making sure we stay relevant and continuously update our specifications.
Absolutely. Okay. And so then, as metering specialists, what role do you see smart meters playing in Africa's energy transition?
Okay, so let's just mention first, when we say metering specialists, we technically don't manufacture anything. There's no product that we make. However, smart metering is definitely the way forwards. The current standard meter that everyone's used to was brilliant when it was first launched. It doesn't come without its own set of problems, of course. When something is newly invented, there are teething problems, and we've had quite a few decades now of using the old type of meter. It was only logical that computers advance, cell phones advance, and of course, prepayment meters needed to do the same thing. So with smart metering, of course, there's an array of benefits. One point to mention on that, specifically here in this country, there's a large problem with revenue protection. People bypass meters, they do all sorts of things to the meters themselves. At some point in the future, when smart meters eventually replace all of the older style meters, there's going to be a huge benefit in security, for municipalities and for the vendors themselves. And of course, you end up getting two-way communication, whereas before, it was just one-way communication. You would go to the meter, punch in your token or whatever it is, and that was it. With two-way communication, there is an array of benefits and features, and of course that's why the smart metering is the way forward.
And also, I want to speak a little bit about what STS Association's Don Taylor said. He spoke about the urgency for municipalities to get rolling.
Yes.
So what role does STS Association play in trying to accelerate energy efficiency?
All right, so our main message is the TID rollover itself. To put it into context and with a little bit of history, the TID stands for Token Identifier. It's essentially a security protocol that was built into the very first specification when we first published it back in 1993. And it essentially governs the feature where you cannot replay a token in the meter. 1 meter, 1 token, 1 time. Now, that itself has a finite amount of storage space, if you will. And you essentially get to a point on the 24th of November 2024 where all of these prepayment meters essentially run out of space to continue encrypting tokens with the security protocol. So an update needs to happen. And therein lies the problem statement. On the 24th of November 2024, all STS prepayment meters they need to be keychains before that date. So what Don Taylor and myself have essentially been doing is launching an intense communication drive. The association did start this message many, many years ago. We've been saying this basically at every single conference, but the intense communication drive started just over 2 years ago, like I said, with Don Taylor and myself. And the goal was to notify every single end user out there about the upcoming TID rollover event. But in addition to that is providing material, whether it be training material, guidance. We've got training videos on our website and of course all our social media to be support. We cannot get involved directly with any of these projects. We've got no commercial interest in that sense. But because we are the custodians of the specification, we've just made sure that we've put all the information ready and available for anybody out there using our technology to have the resources to implement their own projects. The clock is ticking, and that clock runs out on the 24th of November 2024.
Thank you so much for
You're
taking
very
the
welcome.
time
Thank
to
you.
speak with us today. For all of our viewers who are watching, this has been ESI Africa Studio on site at Enlit 2022. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.